It's nibble time. Let's get into it. Super excited to give you this word today because I just learned this. And you might already know it, but anyway, I'm excited, so I'm going to tell it to you anyway, how I just figured this out. So you remember we talked about the Garden of Gethsemane on Good Friday. And you've heard of Mount Olives, right? I didn't realize they were literally the same place. It's kind of like the Mount of Olives is the whole hill. And the Garden of Gethsemane is a specific place within that, kind of like within that hood. So remember, the Garden of Gethsemane is where Jesus was sweating the huge drops of blood and all that pressure. And he wanted the cup to be passed from him. And he said, but let thy will be done. And then Mount Olive. Oh, God, y'all gonna have to go read this tonight. Acts 1, 9, and 12, that's going to be about Mount Olives. Luke 22, 41 through 42, that's about the Garden of Gethsemane. But the Mount of Olives, that's when it said, after he said this, he was taken up before their very eyes. So the Mount of Olives was after the resurrection because that's the site in which he was ascended. That's where he ascended or went to heaven. That's where he went up. I said, come on through, Jesus. I hear what you're telling me. What you're telling me that in my darkest moment could also be my greatest shining light moment. That's what that says. When he wanted that cup to be passed from him because the pressure to go to the cross and die such a horrible death was so great upon him, in that same place is where he ascended, where he was resurrected and ascended to heaven. So where you are, you could be in your darkest moment right now, but it can turn around and be the exact place where the glory of God shall come. I know 16 years ago when I couldn't talk and I couldn't eat, and the doctors had no idea what was going on with me. I was having this excruciating pain to my face. And of course, later found out I had trigeminal neuralgia. That's what they diagnosed me with back then. In that darkest time, that's when I began to eat the word of God. I would take scriptures and I would read them and I would meditate them over and over again. My spirit man grew so strong during the time when my physical man was getting weak, because I couldn't eat or drink. I could sip something through a straw, but that's the only way I could do it. So I couldn't physically truly sit down and chew because I couldn't chew physically. So I was in a fasted state. So I was in my darkest moment, my physical body breaking down, but yet my spiritual man was growing strong and stronger and stronger. So I just wanted to give you good hope today that in your darkest moment will be the moment where God's glory shall show up for you. Listen, I love you and stay in faith no matter what.